Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be installing my new radar detector and laser detector. It's a Uniden R3. Let's go check it out.
A little bit more. Okay, there it is. Okay. Yeah!
So, fun and games here again in the Auto Amateur Garage. We're here again in self-quarantine and, you know, fun and games, finished with work for the day. Kids are basically ready for bed. So I'm in the garage tinkering and trying to stay off the couch and away from our quarantine apocalypse snack collection, which has taken a pretty big dent as well. But today the bracket arrived to install this. We're going to take a look at it in a second. And in this video, I'm going to try and get it installed in the front of the car. There are a number of different ways to do it. If you saw the video I posted yesterday, I talked about them a little bit. I found a great resource online. It's a company and a YouTube channel called Vortex Radar. The guy who runs it, super nice, super knowledgeable. I came across him from a recommendation from Matt Mormon at Obsessed Garage. Matt actually has this exact product and the clip that I've bought, or the bracket or whatever you want to call it, in his GT3 RS. And as he was installing it, he was talking about how he'd done a bunch of research and he'd come across this device through Vortex Radar. So I'm pretty excited to get it installed. Now, admittedly, I'm not an expert in these products, but looking at a couple of the videos on Vortex Radar, and it seems like he is an oracle of information for these products. The guy running that channel was involved in the beta testing of this unit a couple of years ago, along with a handful of other experts around the country and other, I guess, radar companies or radar product testers. So he was part of the development, and he's done a bunch of tests where he's put this up against 4 or 5 more expensive products and a couple of less expensive products. And he says that in many respects, this has sort of blown the competition out of the water, especially given its price, which is around $300 now. I think it was $400 when it first came out a couple of years ago. But it's got super long distance detection. It's radar detection and laser detection. It's not a laser jammer, which would make it illegal in at least the state of Minnesota and a handful of other states around the country. It does K-band, it does the X-band, and then it does laser. And I've still got loads to learn about it. But I'm going to install it today, and I'm going to figure out how to use it maybe tomorrow.
Okay, so first things first, I have my trim tool, which is going to help me pull apart the plastic surround close to the mirror. I'll show you exactly where that is in the next segment. And then here is my mount from Blend Mount. This was about $130, $140, which sounds like a lot. But when you think about some of the suction cups that are out there, which look really ugly up there, and then this is going to sit there pretty much the whole time, I think that's worth it to get something that looks seamless and slick. So Blend Mount make their mounts custom for a number of different models. You can put your model number into the website and it will tell you exactly which mount you're going to use. This is going to sit around the small little piece of plastic that holds the mirror to the mounting. This is going to sit forward towards the windscreen, and then this actually just slots into the front and the top part of the radar detector and then sits there nicely in the dash. The other thing that's really nice about this is that it has a slightly sticky pad here, which when you put the front into the device, it sort of gives you a second point of leverage to hold the device in place. Some of the previous mounts or other mounts you can get only hold the device in front. So when you're driving on the road, this is essentially just being held in place in one, at the front, and you get quite a bit of vibration. So this mount is designed to hold it in place and essentially eliminate any vibration and just hold it there steadily. We also have a little bit of mounting hardware, I think, as well, or some other parts which I'll need to make sure we use or not, as the case may be, as we get into the job. And then here's the wire tap or the mirror tap solution itself. I bought it from Blend Mount. This was about 50 bucks. You essentially get this small cord. This piece here plugs into the power port on the side of the Uniden radar detector. And then we've got a couple of different wiring types, depending on the wiring harness you find. I think I need to use the smallest pair in here. The black goes to black and the red goes to the red and black wiring, I think. And then if I need to hold it together at all, I've got some zip ties here. So that's the mirror tap. Now, hopefully that's going to work and I can use the wiring harness that's inside the upper part of my ceiling there, right by the mirror. If not, then I'm going to have to use a different solution, but let's hope that plan A works. And then here's the device itself. And we'll go and do a little bit more of a run through the device once I've got it in and I've got it working. But for now, doesn't it look so pretty? All right, now also, let's go and take a look inside the car. So, here is, well, first off, here's my lovely GoPro 8, everybody, which I'm pretty excited about. I replaced a GoPro 6. I've got one 6 and one 8 now. This has got an outer body that allows me to plug in an external lava mic. So I might be using this in my car to take audio and video from now on. It also has a shotgun mic here, which essentially helps the sound quality. So I'm excited about that. Anyway, back onto the job. So up here, I'm going to be removing this piece of plastic here where the lighting is and the garage door controller. And there's a wiring harness in there that I can use and tap into. In some models of cars, you actually remove the plastic behind or above the rear view mirror. Again, depending on the car you have, because they also potentially have wiring harnesses in there. Now, this model, from what I understand, doesn't. So I've got to tap into the wiring up here. I'm a little bit nervous because I've never attempted this before, and until a few days ago, I didn't think I ever would. But let's get it on and see what happens. Okay, let's get it on. I always get scared when I start playing with the interior and, touching things that could potentially break. There are two clips, it looks like, one here on one corner, one here on the other. And that should be, let me turn these lights off. That should be everything I need, to take this down. And then here is the wiring harness, and this is the wiring I'm going to be tapping into. And as expected, there is a black wire and there is a black and purple or black and red. But they're black and red. They're the ones I'm going to be tapping into. There's also a purple. So yeah, black to black and then red to black and red. And that is going to allow me to power the device and have it turn on and off switched with the ignition. So, within a few minutes of turning the car off, as the interior lights shut off, and the car goes to sleep essentially, then so does the radar detector. I wouldn't want it on the whole time, draining my battery. So let's see if I can get this out. Of course, now I've turned the lights off. It's a little harder, but that's it. Ooh, you know what? I wonder I wonder if there's a carbon fiber version of one of these. I'm joking, kinda. All right, so there's that. Let's do the wiretap. Okay, so as you can see here, the MXT series mirror tap here comes with some pretty nice instructions and a couple of different sizes of wires. From what I understand, I need to be using the smallest pair. So on the end of this, I have a black wire and I have a red wire. So here's the smallest red, I think. No, this is the smallest red. So I'm gonna go red to red. And then I'm gonna find the smallest black wire, which is this one. And now I'm gonna go black to red. Oh, sorry, black to black. Okay. Now it looks like I've got some heat shrink here, presumably to put around here, but I'm not gonna bother doing that just yet. I wanna make sure I get it right. So now I'm gonna go and try and put this in the car. Also, it looks like the zip ties here are gonna allow me to keep the wires close to the wiring harness. So that's good. And that means, it's a job where I can use my knife. You guys who watch my videos know I get excited whenever I can use my knife. All right, calm down, James. All right, let's go do the wire tap. And actually, as you can see here, I'm not going to be tapping directly into the wires. I'm actually going to be pushing the wiring on top of the wires. So they're actually going into the harness with the wires. All right, let's get it on. Okay, so I think the wires are in next to each other. They go side by side as opposed to top and bottom, it looks like. Before I go any further, I'm going to turn on the power and see if I can actually get any power to my radar detector. Turn off my radio.
X-band, K-band, Ka-band.
Yeah, dude.
Laser.
That was easy. That was so easy. Oh man. Okay, that's pretty exciting. Power off. Oh, I'm gonna go test some cops tonight. I'm joking. I don't speed. I just want to know where they are. That's awesome. Okay. So wires are in. Let's see how much I'm going to need. Yeah, probably all of it. So for now, I'm going to tie them up pretty close together without assuming that I can, take some length off this cable. I just want them secure together. Okay, that'll do. I didn't bring my knife, which is probably a good thing, so we're not going to use the knife. What I'm going to do is, for now, I'm going to put this back, and then if I need to feed some more wire inside to make it neater, then I can do that later on. But for now, I just want to sort of put it back together while it's all fresh in my head. So that's plugged in there. Plastic is safe there. Gonna have the wire. There seems to be a little gap at the front in the middle. So that should go nicely. And then can I actually get it back in? That's the question. Okay, so now for the clamp, and it looks pretty straightforward, he says, having almost lost his little Allen key. So I'm gonna just loosen this screw here, and it's gonna allow me to put this over the windscreen, you know, where the thing that holds the mirror to the casing. Close it down, tighten it up, and then it's as simple as that, putting the device into place. And then it looks like I also need to tighten these screws here, And then to get it off, I think it's just a question of pushing the button and sliding. Super quick release if you don't want it in display when you're not in the car, or, you know, I guess if you got pulled over. Well, not illegal, are they? So anyway, whatever. It comes off pretty quickly. So let's go get it on in the car. Okay, fun and games, doing this without necessarily being able to see the mirror. Well, I'll use my Jedi powers, my ginger powers. Haha! Now, righty-tighty, right? Does that matter which way you're looking at it? Oh, good. No, that's working. That's working. Okay, that's stable enough for now. I think I want that high. Let's see. Oops. Okay, so let's get the mirror in the right position for starters. Okay. So if I go high like that, I'm not necessarily going to be able to get to the buttons. But is that a problem? Because when I'm driving, I really only need to care about the mute function and the mark function. If I really want to play with the menus, I can always take it off, right? Let's see, if it's all the way up, can I get it off? No, not really. Okay, so I'm going to have it down a little. Yeah, okay, that'll do. So let's start with okay, that's one side. I don't like Allen keys at the best of time, but having to use them backwards, not fun. All right, now, oh, there is another dimension to this, which is up and down. So where's that screw? There it is. That's great. That's really sturdy. And it comes off just as easily like that. Okay. I think the one thing I'm not sure about is whether or not that's straight. Just need it tightened just a little bit more up here. Where's that screw? There it is. Okay. Okay, that's nice and tight. Let's power it up.
X band, K band, KA band. Laser.
Yeah! So right there towards the end of the job, my wife came home with the boys, so I had to tidy up the garage and put the cars back where they should be. So I'm now back in my parking space. But having wired up the radar detector and making sure that it worked, the last step was to find the best possible path to run the power cable. So I took apart the trim again and removed the housing, the lighting housing unit on the roof there, just above the mirror. If you push down on the rubber trim that's at the sort of bottom end, which goes towards the windscreen, there is basically a rubber seal that goes from the edge of the roof to the plastic housing that then holds the mirror. So I've managed to push the wire through there so that I get a more direct and seamless route from inside the lining of the ceiling down to the radar detector. So the wire is barely visible now from the driver's position, which is nice, and it doesn't sort of loop out to the side and come round. So I really like that. So now my radar detector looks about, as seamless, I think, as it's going to get. Is it the prettiest thing to look at? No. I'm probably not going to use it, every day. But when I do long trips, and certainly, when we go do like group drives on weekends, and certainly to the Tail of the Dragon, this is going to come in really handy. And I'm now excited to go and check it out and just see what it's like. Is it going to drive me crazy with loads and loads of false alarms? Is it going to be, useful? There's a highway mode. There are a couple of city modes, a default city mode, and then one that you can configure yourself. So I'm going to give those a try and see if I can sort of dial this in to how I like it. And, we'll just sort of go from there. A little bit more. Okay.
Laser.
Yeah!